to share another channeled message from the Light Keepers, a group of angelic beings I channel for your awakening and ascension journey support. So today we're going to talk about a number of things, and in fact I think there are 10. I think I'll get to all of them, as to what you need to know about the Ascension now. Some of these you may have heard of, others you may not have. So this is really kind of a compilation of some of the things I've talked about previously, but we've also added some new things that have come in lately. And so I hope you enjoy this as you travel through this journey, particularly over the rest of this year. So I'm Carolyn, I'm a channel, I'm a distance energy healer, and I'm a spiritual awakening mentor, and I offer these channels for your awakening and ascension support. So thank you so much for joining me today, and if you're new to my channel, check out the link below. It will take you to a video where I talk about flow and how to create it in your body for health and wellness. But more importantly, what it does is it leads you to more channels that you can get through my email list. Once a week, I'll send a channel out for the upcoming week. So join me there. It's all free. So anyway, today I'm going to go ahead and read a channel that the Light Keepers brought through, and then I'm going to talk about, I think I'll go through the 10 things briefly and describe each of them as I go. And hopefully you can take something, like I say, a little puzzle piece for the puzzle of your own journey to use in your day to day. Okay, I'm going to read the channel first, and then we'll get into the 10. There are times you feel that nothing changes, and the world is only going through stages of distance and growing apart. And yes, this is what you see, but you have blinders on too. For when you find this separation in time, the best of you and others will fully unwind, and into the light you go further too. For the separation is real, and yet you bring the light with you. Growing in strength you are, pulling the light to help others by far. For as you grow in strength too, doing your work that the awakening has brought you, suffering through the struggles we say, but understanding this is the only way. In through your own dark tunnels too, and always there is the bright light at the end, we say, for you. For as you keep your eye on the prize, a different way you see as a pattern in time. For as the things come in and confront you, things from past lives and karmic too, beauty and grace of others coming your way, wondering how they are here and why others don't stay. You see how this works, the journey of all time too. And then you begin to understand that for you, it is about unraveling the human life that over the eons has caused such strife. Breaking into and out of, we find the heaviness that only humans can create in time. Now you find through your work you've done, oh yes, and applaud you we do, that as you work through the experiences that come your way, you grow by inches and sometimes miles in your day of the light of your soul to shine again, the way it was meant and will be again. The struggle is real and the beauty is too. For the work, for the most part, is done inside of you. This time now you are seeing and feeling, we say, the deeper divisions, but know that it is this way. For as the strength of you and others we find come together, all becomes light, pulling on those who move the other way, deeper divisions than you know ever. Eventually, the light you have created will pull them in too, not with words of begging for them to come, just the energy, the light of all time, that you now feel as one. So let yourself sink into these times, the growing distinction of you and others you find. For this is the way all growth of humankind works too, across the eons. For remember, you are working for you. To bring yourself in, we say, to a brand new humankind in your way. But as you work your journey to, know that each and every day what you do helps the others in your way. Every single one, for you are not separate today. For you are them and they are you. And if you can keep this thought in front of you, know that everyone you see going through the struggle, pulled into the vortex they may be, and different from you, you are thinking they are. But they are just you to reflect all that you are. Every experience you had in your way, and now you come to save the others, but it is done by saving yourself today. You are applauded from the stars you are, and if you could only see what your work has done so far, the division created will bring one day a brand new way of living as the heavens open up to all you can be. The ascended times are here, our friends, and all that comes and evermore of glory to the collective that is in store is from your hands of what you have offered today. and given to the growth to become the one that you know deep down you all are each day. So that really kind of sets us up to talk about what we see going on right now in what they call the ascended times and where we're at presently. We have a tendency to kind of understand some of the things we go through individually, and I have talked about things we go through collectively as well, but this really pulls a lot of these together into one really video today. So I'm going to start and just walk through these and explain them to you, and hopefully you can relate to some of them. And if you can't, just know that some of these you may be experiencing now, others you may experience later on as well, or have experienced it. Right now, there's something about what's going on presently. Okay, they said with the energetic vibration of the collective that these are all, they just said in play. Okay, so this was a big one that came through this week, and it was actually a metaphor and a visual that showed up. And what they were explaining to me, and this is kind of all since the fall equinox, they had indicated, is that they showed me a tall building. And then one level of that building has been taken out. So what we've done is we've collapsed the building. Building's still standing. We've collapsed the building. What they're saying to us is we are higher in dimension now, because essentially the top floor that they're showing is the higher dimensions that we're striving for. Lower dimensions are where kind of the 3D idea. But what they've said is we've come closer. And so they gave me this metaphor, this visual of a tall building, and then one of the levels has been taken out. So we are closer to moving into the higher dimensions of beauty and light for all of the collective, not just for ourselves. But again, the light workers are the ones, those of us who are consciously aware, have been going through this awakening journey of the things we need to do to continue to move forward in light and grace. And that's what all my videos have been about, right? But what they're saying now is we're in a time where that's collapsing. We are closer to the higher realms. And I think many of you have felt this in your own life, in the energies in your day to day. So just know that. Now, there's some feelings that kind of come with this, even more than maybe you have experienced in the past. Feeling very floaty, feeling like maybe you're walking 3 inches off the ground all the time. And that can also cause you not to be grounded, which is another conversation. Time issues. We've all had time issues of late, and I guess I would just say over the last few years I have, but they've actually gotten more, I would say, more intense. And with that comes this idea of kind of not really feeling like there is time, or that time's compressing, or sometimes it's going slower, faster, all of that. This is happening even more so now. So you thought time was weird before? Well, it's really getting strange. So I just want you to know that. In fact, it's funny, the other day, this lasted for like 30 seconds where I could not figure out what day it was. I thought it was Sunday. Go figure. It was Wednesday. I've never done that before, where I actually did this thing of like, okay, well, this is Sunday. And then it didn't just go away. It was there. And then finally I realized, oh no, wait, this is Wednesday. Go figure. But anyway, I think a lot of you have had this happen where time is, okay, they just said is becoming not a thing. And yet we still have to navigate in our 3D world, which can become very difficult when we have those issues with time. Also within this, the closer to the higher dimensions, number one, things are happening faster as well. A lot is happening in a short amount of time to us individually and also to us collectively. But anyway, how it plays into your life is really what we're talking about today. So number two, synchronicity signs are growing, signs and messages and patterns, and they may be coming in fast and furious. Like in a particular day, you may get just a whole understanding of something you've been going through wrapped up into one day, where, I don't know, maybe you're getting songs that help you understand things, repeat songs, you get the numbers, and then you get messages from other people, and then all of a sudden it wraps up into an understanding. Things are happening faster now. Synchronicity signs are growing. Now, this doesn't mean every single day you're going to be bombarded with them, but we typically are lately. We really are, and I think many of you are realizing how much more closely, and this ties to number one, we are to the higher dimensions, because they're able to connect with us more. Our energetics are at a level that allow them to connect with us, and we're more aware. We're going through our journey of becoming more consciously aware of everything around us, all right? And those energetics are assisting us, and therefore, those synchronicity signs are growing. We're more aware of what's going on around us, and we're connecting the dots and understanding what they're trying to tell us. So just know your synchronicity signs are probably growing. Additionally, number 3, fast and furious, random things are happening, and they may be all over the place. They may not necessarily connect. You may wrap up one story in a day, and then in the afternoon, you've got other things happening where you're clearing a past life, even if you don't know it. You may have people coming your way in and out to clear things you thought were done. Great example for me is, I think I mentioned this earlier, I had in one situation, a former relationship pop back in for a short period of time to teach me a lesson that I hadn't fully learned. Okay. And so, this was from a long time ago, and I was shocked when this actually showed up. But the thing is, this is what's happening. People are coming back into your life faster and for a short period of time to clear things out. Karmic situations are occurring. Contractual situations are closing out, or possibly even beginning. Past lives are showing up. But the thing is, I've talked about this previously happening, but it's happening faster and more furious, and multiple things at the same time you may find. And oftentimes, we're not getting a break. So, like they said, hold on to the roller coaster, right? So number 4, relationships. Relationships are shifting so fast right now. People may be coming into your lives you would never have anticipated and showing up, and now they're part of your journey forward. Never having expected that. You didn't create that. Or did you, out of your soul journey, right? So new people are showing up. People are also leaving your journey. We're finding that in spades with people. In the work that I do, these relationships are closing out faster and faster, or there's coming up into some understanding, or new contracts are showing up. Because remember, when we incarnate, we bring these contracts in with us. We don't know that because as humans, we're veiled to all of that so that we continue to experience this and grow. But the point is right now, they're showing up. They're closing out or they're starting, all right? And it isn't just one. You're probably having this happen a lot, whether it's in personal relationships, work relationships, familial, it's all over the place. All of this has amped up, okay? So number 5, you likely are feeling more removed from the 3D collective and all that is going on. So here's the visual they keep giving me. In fact, I was driving in the car yesterday and I could not stop seeing this. And okay, they just said push and pull. Okay, but what they're showing me is, you know how a cell divides? Okay, so what they've shown me is in the past, like here's the cell, and now this cell is dividing. But where we're at is you've got 2 cells now, but they're still attached. Okay, so this is the collective, this is the split, this is the separation, all right? But we're still connected. So it gets very interesting to try to understand that. But because of this, you're going to likely feel more separate from the 3D collective, more like you're in a way an observer or a spectator, sometimes maybe even of your own life. And that's that observer role we've talked about. Also being an observer to the collective and what's going on. Kind of like you're living your life in a bubble. You're still doing your work, you're still interacting with others, but it's almost as though you've manifested your own reality outside of what's happening in the collective of all the angst and the concern and the worry and everything that's happening, the collapsing of things and the starting up of things, all of this that we're seeing in the collective across the world wide. So we're seeing that separation happen, but what you're going to notice as we continue to have that separation is very likely you're going to start feeling even more, I would say, less as a participant, more as a spectator, but you're still involved. It's not we go into a cave and become a monk. Although that sounds really good right now, right? But anyway, needless to say, that's the metaphor they're giving. So just know that you may feel that way even more as we keep moving forward. And the one thing I would caution is if you're not feeling that way, you may want to take a look at how dug down deep am I in all the angst that's out there in the collective. I always talk about, and they reaffirm this, is how much are you watching the news? How much are you dug down deep into social media, in the arguments and the divisiveness and the separation? The thing is, we're to hold the light. We're here to hold the light. It doesn't mean we don't have those conversations, but it's you step your toe in and then you get out. Don't get dug down deep and start wrapping your mind around things so that you don't even know what your own truth is, okay? So just understand that as you're moving forward in your journey, one of the things that you should feel likely as you're moving forward is this separation out from this collective. You still kind of understand what's going on, but you are not immersed in it to point of drowning. So number 6, old remnants are coming up for final clearing. Now, I will say we have this all the time. We have remnants showing up of past lives, of things in this life that we haven't dealt with, relationships, all of those things, all these crazy things that we think, well, I dealt with that, or maybe you didn't at all and you just stuffed it down. They're showing up in spades, and the final remnants are in your face, all right? Because there's something important about this year energetically to get a lot of this cleared out, get a lot of this figured out. Where are you going to be going in 2021, right? So what's happening is your soul self is bringing in these final remnants of things that have not been cleared, you haven't addressed, you haven't dealt with at all, whether it's with another person or something internal to yourself, and how you actually behave out of that. Maybe an old pattern you've always been in. And now guess what? You're confronted with having to shift and change and address that within yourself, because you can't move forward with all this stuff that we've carried. So your final remnants are showing up. Old remnants, I should say, are showing up back now for you to address. So don't stuff them down, deal with them, and take that time. Number 7. And this is one I think we can feel depending on where we're at in syncing ourselves into what's going on in the worldwide, okay, in the what I always call the 3D, all right, versus the higher realms that we are moving to, is that there's an even greater pull from the lower light, from the lower energies. Because I always think of everything as light in some way, okay? It's just not light enough, right? So the lower light or those lower energies, that pull is so strong right now because it's trying to pull us in. It's trying to pull the light workers in so that that lower energy can survive, all right? But it can't if we don't let it, all right? So if we allow ourselves to go there and live there, well, guess what? Our light is being snuffed out, all right? Or it's lower light. So you're contributing to that. So my point in that is this energy is stronger now. The lower light, and you see it all over. You see it all over. Everything that's happening, all these actions in humankind, these are energies, and they pull you in. You have to be very aware of that. And you can very much get pulled apart, all right? You have a choice. That's the one thing I want you to understand. This is about controlling your ego mind and the understanding of who you truly are inside. This is an inner struggle. So you have a choice as to what to follow and whether or not those energies are pulling you into the lower light rather than the higher light that you are and that you've been working toward. So this is very much, oh, they just said mind control. Okay, well, that makes sense because, okay, they just said don't allow the pull to take you over. See, it's super strong. Okay, they just talked about it being like a vortex. So it's very much an energy pulling us down in, but we don't have to succumb to that. It's all about what we choose. We have a choice individually every single day. All right, so number 8. Okay, so what you're probably noticing more and more is others outside yourself are all of a sudden questioning things. Conscious awareness of things they weren't before. Having conversations maybe with you before, and you might be like, I don't want to talk about that because you never talked to me about this before and you always thought I was crazy. And by the way, I don't know how to explain myself. Just listen is all I would say, is let them talk to you because more and more people are coming into conscious awareness because what's happening is they're getting activated and triggered by all these things happening on the worldwide stage, whether it be politics or world events, all of this suffering, you name it. It is happening now. People are starting to question things. And this is why we see so much division, because lots of times when we do get to that stage where we're divided and things are strong on one end or the other, that polarity, this is what causes people to question things and to wake up. So just know you're probably going to see this around you with people who are all of a sudden you're going, oh, that came out of their mouth. Oh, and again, you're not there to have to explain everything to them. Just let them talk. Let them talk and then share what you think is appropriate. But my only point in this right now is that you're probably seeing others start to consciously wake up. I know just in the 3-4 years I've gone through this myself, it's so amazing to see the number of people. I used to be just alone in my journey, and now it's rapidly happening to people where they are consciously questioning, wondering, and they're at the beginning of their journey. So this is a pretty exciting time, and if you're aware of that, then you can be of a great assistance. And if you do nothing else, holding space for them is probably one of the best things you can do because remember, you're the light. You don't see the light that you carry. It's there for them. You may have even activated them by being in their presence. So just know, hold that light for them, hold that space. Okay, so another thing, then now we go to number 9, fears can be growing stronger. Our fears can be growing stronger. You may find one day where all of a sudden you're just overloaded with fear when you wake up. You're anxious. You're wondering what's going on. This is happening because remember the energies of the collective are super strong in the fear categories, because fear is a great way to be able to control a populace. And so as we wrap ourselves up in all of that, and again, this ties to what are you engulfing yourself in day to day, but as this is happening, fear is growing across the worldwide collective as an energy. So I want you to know you may be impacted by this. You may feel this. You may feel this angst. And you all know, as I've talked previously, those of you who've watched my videos before, we have a lot of energy clearing practices that we can take. And it's about really being helpful to yourself and looking at what we're engulfing ourselves in day to day. So you have choices. Remember that. But our fears likely are going to be growing bigger, whether it's fears of just your own personal stuff going on that, like I said the other day, when we ambush ourselves, there's a lot of fear in all of those things that I listed out in that last video. Look at those. How are you creating your own fear and amping your own self up? Because lots of times it's us doing it to ourselves, as I've said. And then secondarily, what's happening outside of yourself in the collective. Those energies can cause our fears to amp up. So again, we have practices for that. You understand how already from my past videos, how to actually go ahead and start working on not allowing fear to engulf you. But know that right now, they just said trigger points. Oh, okay, they just said, okay. Trigger points are here and coming. Okay, they just said hold fast. Okay, this is why they wanted to do this video. So now I understand this. This is why they're giving this all to you. Okay, they just set a set point. They want this to be a set point for you moving forward so you understand how to manage what's coming our way as a collective. Okay, so you don't drown. Okay, so no wonder we had the video last time on ambushing ourselves, right? Because we do things to ourselves. This is what's happening in the ascended times right now, energetically, in some things in the collective that can affect us. Because remember, we're the stanchion in the ground. We're the strong light in the ground, holding fast for everyone else. Remember how they always show the big event tent for me, and then those big poles that hold the event tent up so that the event can be held, right? Guess what? We're the poles that hold the tent up, and that tent is the high level energy and light. Okay, so I actually have two more, so I guess this is 11 that we're going to be talking about. So number 10, breakdown, shakedown, they said. Yep, breakdown, shakedown. So what you need to know is in the collective, what we're seeing is a breakdown of many things, and shakedown. And what's happening, and by the way, those are their words, breakdown, shakedown. At the same time, things are crumbling because everything's put into question, okay? Things you never thought in a million years would be questioned, that you thought were foundations of your society, your culture, your national way of being, your way of living. Shakedown, breakdown for questioning. Does it suit you anymore? Does it suit you as an individual? Does it suit you as a collective? Regardless of all the collectives that we're a part of, right? We are going, they just said national treasures. Oh, okay. They're talking about foundational ways of living from the standpoint, from your country of origin. In other words, okay, they're talking about governmental policies, foundationally shifting, all coming into question. Okay, so forget just government. You can talk education, the whole bit. Everything is being questioned. So they're very much validating this, that as we have the shakedown, breakdown of what looks like is crumbling institutions or structures that we've been so used to all the time, whether it's governmental, whether it's educational or religious, it goes on and on, right? They're all being called into question one way or another. At the same time, what we need to understand is we're rebuilding. So the shakedown, breakdown happens at the same time we're rebuilding. You can see that on many fronts, and it also depends on what you choose to look at. So don't get hung up in the breakdown, shakedown all the time, because that's where you're going to live. Also look at what's going on to rebuild, because it's coming from the grassroots. That you need to know. And then lastly, this is a great way to end this one. The energies are super conducive to your upliftment. They are here for you now. We've seen this happening over and over again, and the fall equinox is just incredibly powerful. And I could talk all day long about what's happened to me since the fall equinox, but the point is I have felt a complete shift. I know other people have too, but the thing is, it's all in what you do with it, right? So these energies are very natural, by the way. They impact all of us to one degree or another. As we continue to do our work for ourselves, keep ourselves also as healthy as we can, also looking at the balance in our life, looking at who we involve ourselves with, what we choose to do each day, those choices we make every day for our lives and what we engulf ourselves in. The energies are here for your upliftment. So all the other things you do can impact whether that assists you or not. The point is, it's here. Everybody's getting those energies. And if you come along for the ride, they can even be more substantially beneficial to you. So just want you to know the environment is set up for us to continue to be enlightened, to continue to raise our consciousness, and to continue to be able to assist others in this journey, because that is why we're here. First and foremost, to work on ourselves to the point of being able to be that light, to be that stanchion for those, and shine so brightly for others and be that example. And then to be able to help others along their journey as they move forward in their awakening and in this global ascension. So that's what I have for you today. It turned out to be 11, not 10. And these are all things to consider right now in this journey that we're in right now. What's happening in the ascension now that you need to be aware of. So I'm certain they're going to be doing an update on this probably. Oh, they just said quarterly. Okay, well, okay, I guess so then. We'll just see how that works out quarterly. I think probably the next one will be, I'll be doing an energy update for the new year here probably in another month. And who knows what else between now and then, because they just give me what I'm supposed to talk about. So again, we'll probably be updating these. I hope you've taken something away for your journey today and have enjoyed this video. Again, reach out to me if you'd like to work with me. I channel in all of my services for you, whether it be channeled personal messages. I have 3 different options for you. You can check out my website, purplerainhealing.com. I also do powerful distance energy healings and channelings where you receive a document with pages and pages of information on your own journey. And then I offer spiritual awakening mentoring, where we connect live and talk through your awakening and ascension journey, or just your life journey in general, because I channel through all of that as well and help guide you through a series of sessions for as long as you choose to work with me. So I would love to work with you all. Just reach out to me at my website, purplerainhealing.com. And again, thank you so much for joining me in this journey. I'll see you in the next video.